Hey, it's me, Pinky. Glory Better started, and so far we had a few fights. What surprises me a bit is that a lot of people, I think, still didn't really understand how resilience works. So what I want to do today is talk a little bit about the talents in Glory Better, which talents are worth it, which are not worth it. So we will be hopefully more successful in your next fights, because I see a lot of stuff I wouldn't do. I'm doing this topic because I had to talk with a few army members, but I also had a good example when I was fighting, so I will just use this report. If you look onto this, you see I'm fighting against the, let's call it max account with T5s. I have mostly T3s. He has mostly T4s. And he has the Night King, Cersei, basically bowman combo versus my cavalries. I shouldn't win this. Even though I don't think bows are that strong anymore. And he had two fights before I hit him. But the point why I did win so good against him is pretty simple. You see, I have 107 resilience and he has 30. This means my troops doing normal attacks have a 101% defense at life. He has 54% of his attacks and 54% of this defense at life, which makes his troops a lot worse. If you check a later report, this one, it's pretty much the same. I mean, he has a little bit more army size, but he did beat me a lot better. And here you see his resilience is a little bit better, which means 70% attack, defense, and hearts. It shouldn't be like this. I should not have more resilience than him. We were fighting at the Tempest Gate, which means he has a shorter way from their base to the gate is way shorter than from our base to their gate. But I guess he made some mistakes with talents and stuff like this, which should be the topic. So just as a basic understanding, if you send an army, you can always here see your resilience change. So if your resilience drops too far, check this. This is influenced by your marching speed and the distance you will march. Means when you march faster, you drop less. So basically you can say it's just the time you march. If you march 2 minutes, you will lose the same resilience. If you need 2 minutes here or to the gate, doesn't really matter. It's just the marching time, basically. So how to influence this? The first thing is your military position, and I can only tell you, if you're going to fight, do it in offense or defense. Never fight in logistics. It doesn't really matter for me if you fight in offense or defense. I like offense a lot more because you are faster, and since I have to send often, I can send more often if I don't walk so long. But you could do the mathematics on the marching speed compared to 20 more resilience, because offense has 160 resilience, and then find the perfect solution for yourself to pick what you like. And of course there are like circumstances where you can only defend in defense or want to have offense for the last talent or whatever, but for the like first fights, it doesn't really matter. You can pick whatever you like more. But in logistics, you don't get any stats, but the stats are not that important. You have 40 resilience less. Just so we have an idea. If you lose like 10 resilience, it's 6.5% of your stats gone. Let's just take as example, you have 500% total attack, then you will lose around 32.5%, which is already more than the stats of offense give you. But you not only have your total attack, you have also your troop attack and so on, so you lose a lot of stats. If you like start in logistic, in my example, I did arrive here with 100, so I needed like 40. When I arrive here with 100, I'm doing normal damage. And if you arrive with 60, you're doing a lot less. Leads to the next point for me. I see a lot of people focusing on the right talents, which I think is a mistake, because here 1 point gives you like 4% total attack. Okay, great. I think Swift Cavalry, for example, is a lot better because you lose 25% less resilience going to the fight. So if you have the reduced resilience lost in victory, which is pretty much the same because every time you win you lose a bit of resilience. I would take this if you are really, really strong. For me, it's always the problem. I mostly go in once, hurt someone, get knocked out, so I don't think it's worth it to take them because I don't have long winning streaks usually. And here you have just a more casualty rate, which is another thing. Especially if you are strong. All the three are worth it. If you are like me, just go for the Swiss cavalry. Then put 3 points here, just so you can advance. By the way, the main difference in offense and defense is these points only count when you attack in offense, or only count when you defend in defense. But Swift cavalry, for example, always counts. Same for the resilience lost talent, and the casualty rate is again for defense or offense. So if you want these, you would have to switch around a bit depending on what you do. Next would be for me first aid, less casualty rate, more to heal, good to have, I think. Then I have the casualty rate again, just because I want to have the troop expansion. Which gives me 100k more troops, which makes a big difference in my mind, because even if you have like 1 million, it will be 10%, and most of us have less than 1 million, so 100k is a great upgrade. You would again put 3, 3 and 3 on the right side, and then you want to have Swift cavalry again, because then you're losing half the resilience from moving, which would mean you can move twice as far if you want, compared to someone that doesn't have Swift cavalry. Then battle hardened again, and for me one of the greatest, it's 20 resilience more if you put the 5 points into it, which does a lot, because if you want to arrive at the middle, and like me you always have to start from base, then it's important to still stay on top of 100, because well, if you go over 100, it doesn't influence you so much, but if you drop below it, it goes very fast in like shrinking your stats. If you're in defense, depending on the situation, you would need to switch around a bit, because sometimes you need to defend something that you can't reach anymore because the enemy already took something from you. Then you need to find a talent, which makes it possible for you to even reach buildings you are not connected to anymore. But for offense, it's a great talent, no doubt, but it's enough if one person in your faction has it and streaks one time with it. So it's absolutely not needed to go here. So what I would do is get 5 points here, 5 points here, and then finish up all the on the left side. And once you're done, you can get them and this, but I would then start filling from top to bottom, because it's just cheaper. The more far up you are in the tree, the cheaper it is. There's the last thing I want to talk about, just because some people might know about it, apparently. It's the double time march. Also here you can get another resilience loss reduction and more dead for the enemy, which are also great if you are strong or like expect weak enemies and want to have some points. Then I use them. I rarely use this. Like you can see, I'm not buying it. The other two I buy. But here you march 30% quicker, which means you need 30% less time to arrive somewhere. This also means you lose 30% less resilience, and if you arrive with full resilience, this will make a huge difference and will make life against Abracadabra or whatever his name is a lot less enjoyable, because whenever you arrive with low resilience, it's easy for me to fight it. Anyways, I hope this helps you, and have fun, guys.